All right, welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch, and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show podcast.
Alrighty, hello and welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast for Wednesday. Making our way through the week. Hopefully we make it because Virginia's family is all suffering with explosive diarrhea.
And projectile vomiting.
Quite a combo.
I spent so much time, no nap yesterday. All I was doing was trying to clean up vomit and shit, and then replace all the things that had been vomited and shitted on. So rugs, towels, clothes. Like, I kept throwing Rocco in the shower each time he vomit and shit himself, and he was in the shower about 7 times yesterday.
Any fevers?
No fever.
So what is that then? Is that just a...
Well, Denny's told me he thinks it's just a new norovirus because his family had the same thing. When his family came to town, they were all sick, and then it came just as quick as it went.
Because sometimes I'll get the flu. Like, I don't know if it's the flu, but it's the same thing. You feel like you're throwing up, you're tired, you're lethargic, but maybe there's no fever. Is that not? And it's not like you were partying, you weren't drinking or anything. Is that just your body gets run down? Is that the flu of some sorts? What is that shit?
I think if your body is run down, you are way more susceptible to catch anything you come in contact with. You can touch a doorknob, and that's why I have Panda cleaning every doorknob, every counter, everything in our house.
It's like a cruise ship.
It's a cruise ship, exactly. It's a petri dish. You got to wipe everything down with Lysol because you could just touch it and then touch your face, and then now you have it.
So you would go, it's a bug more than the flu.
I think the flu is a bug.
Fuck, I don't know shit.
The moment the realization hit,
Denny's, pull that clip. Fuck, I don't know shit.
Believe me.
put that on a shirt.
I came to that realization a long time ago. But sometimes it just hits harder than others.
If the After the Show had a thought of the day, that would be it.
That's it right there. Yeah. We need to make that a KVJ shirt. That'd be impressive. Well, we got a lot of people sounding off about different things here today, many of them from the regular show, and that's why we do the After the Show to round back around to some of your additional thoughts. And I am kind of trying to figure out my next show. I had watched the Friends, Neighbors, or whatever the hell that show is called on Apple TV with John Hamm. Got one episode in. Wasn't sure I wanted to commit any longer to it. And after looking at the Emmy nominations, I'm thinking about maybe looking at one of the shows that they had there nominated. And I really think I am likely going to be jumping on Shrinking because it is the one that I am hearing the best, and I really pick everything by word of mouth. I don't follow the Emmys. I follow KVJ Nation, and what you guys tell me is basically what I watch. And Lynn had said Shrinking is awesome, definitely worth watching. One text we got from the 954 said, it is the best show ever. You will want to binge it the whole weekend, and then you'll be sad when it's over.
Wow.
Yeah, I really do legit listen to KVJ Nation. If there's enough people saying, Bird, you got to check this shit out, I'll give it a couple episodes. I really will.
What platform is Shrinking on?
I think it's Apple TV.
Oh.
I think it is Apple.
And I was looking between that and Stick, I think is the other one. That's the one that has Owen Wilson in it and Mark Maron, who just ended his podcast or is going to be ending his podcast.
Oh, he is. That's interesting.
He's been doing it for so long.
He was one of the first.
He was really, to me, I think he was one of the first big names, and he was at a higher level than your Joe Rogan and all that, as Joe was kind of getting going. And this is, that was one of the first national podcasts I really started listening to. And I think that was before our Miami time. So you're talking 2013, somewhere around there was when I was dialing that
And he's hanging it up. Did he say why?
I think they just feel like they've kind of done everything. They just want to try other creative projects. And look, he's acting and doing a show. And so.
Okay.
And not to mention, too, there's so many that are in the game. And when he first got in, he really was a pioneer at doing that. You didn't have
8 million podcasts to compete with.
Now it's just so much. And I think he's seeing, look, I'm becoming an older dude, and what are people coming to me for?
You can tell he's a little bitter that there's people surpassing him now that are probably not as good and doesn't have as good as a show, but for whatever reason,
I know how that feels.
They're getting better numbers. Yeah. And Joe Rogan kind of credits Opie and Anthony, especially Anthony from the Opie and Anthony show, of kind of inspiring him to do a podcast.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because they were a long form kind of a talk show, especially when they went over to satellite, just kind of talking and bringing people in and going on and on and on and over for long periods of time. Now, I'm not saying they are the end or be all, but that's one person Rogan does credit to.
Okay.
But like you said the other day, a lot of this happened in the 70s too, where people were just talking on the radio. I'm kind of like how podcasting is now. There were your Art Bells and your Phil Hendrys that would talk long form without music or even a lot of commercials. That was a big thing.
Yeah, you've had a bit of that.
I just feel like that's popular now.
Yeah, absolutely. People have found their things, and it is definitely a crowded space. All of a sudden, the podcasting space. Harder to find, but yeah, I'm still finding new ones that are dropping in, and it's kind of interesting. I've been on this Sean Ryan, I think is his name, that I've only really listened to one episode. Probably going to take on my second one. I'm kind of into my second episode of his, but he had maybe the best episode that I've heard yet on a podcast.
About what?
To me, it is. I would tell you that anybody who wants to know anything about the world needs to listen to this episode that I had listened to of the Sean Ryan show. And it had to do with energy. Really, the biggest things in life, water and energy. That is really what people have fought for. And in the future, it is going to be such a big deal. And he was talking about the technology that they had and they have now. It's just a matter of harnessing it, having somebody develop it. But he was talking about the solar energy, that you would get it from the sun, beam it to Earth, and you could send it directly to a phone or to a car. You know how they have electric cars, you got to plug them in?
Yeah.
You can turn it into a gamma wave, send it to Earth. You have a thing that converts it then to electricity. And he said we wouldn't need coal or oil or all of these things. You could do everything solar.
Wow.
That was the one thing that I was like, holy crap. And he's like, basically, we would use space for all of our energy, and Earth should be a park. Pristine, nice. We're not gunking it up with fracking and all this kind of stuff.
Wow.
It's like, that's kind of a big deal. And then he went into the type of computing that they have. And he said the thing about it, you would be able to get any kind of information. Hackers would be able to get all kinds of codes. It would change the game. It would change transportation. They believe that it's how, I'm trying to remember the word that they call it, but it's how you would time travel through space. The thing is, to use this kind of computing, you need something called hydrogen-3, which is very rare on Earth, just like a thimbleful of it's millions of dollars, but there's a ton of it on the moon. And apparently on the dark side of the moon, China is already there mining it, and they're getting the hydrogen-3. And they said the first to get the hydrogen-3 and this kind of stuff is going to run the world. And so if you like your ideology, you need to be in this kind of tech race, because if China is the first to it, they said, look, at the atom bomb, imagine if Hitler was the first to get it. We'd be speaking German.
Damn.
And they said it's the same thing with this. If we are late to this, then forget it. China will run the world.
Are we at least going to go look on the dark side of the moon?
He's got a company that's trying to do satellites and things like that.
But China's already there?
They said China's there right now.
Oh, damn.
They're already at the game. And that's why for us, we need to, as a nation, we need to encourage this kind of development because we're behind in the game and we cannot fall behind. And this is why. That's how important it is.
Good Lord, Kevin. Now you just scared the shit out of me.
It was very fascinating.
It's like the whole race to the moon back in the 60s. Think about that. You know, we had to beat the Russians there by 69, and supposedly we did it. But did we?
That's why that kind of stuff really is important to getting there and first to it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Somebody called Pink Floyd.
It is episode number 202. Steve Kwast is his name. Kwast. It was from May 22nd. It's how China is mining the moon and weaponizing space. It's fascinating. And his episodes go 3 to 4 hours, and I have a 5-minute ride home. So it's taking me since May.
You'll get there eventually.
And I just wrapped it up.
Come to Tequesta.
But it was quite a listen to. It really was. And it was saying, look, the space travel, all these kind of things, they're a lot, it's a lot nearer than you would think. Yeah. And so I was like, that was maybe one of the greatest episodes I've ever heard of a podcast, and just what it said. It's kind of crazy. So, yeah, the things you can learn, Virginia.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, I mean, clearly I've forgotten half of it. But
You get the general concept, though, and you were able to translate it to us,
I tried to.
the layman.
Well, it was to the point where I was like, I can't even grasp it. So I'd have to listen to it over and over again to be like,
I've
okay.
done that. Yeah. Rewind it and hear it again. Rewind it and hear it again. And then you finally get it.
Yeah. So, but it was a fascinating listen just of what we could do with, and they also have humidifiers in a sense where with water, it can take they said there's so much moisture in the air that to get clean water, it grabs the molecules right out of it, converts it right into clean water. And they said you could have that anywhere in Africa, wherever. So you could provide
Clean water.
You could provide clean water and electricity any part of Africa right now that is dying because they don't have it. They said we have those capabilities. These are the kind of tech things that we should be investing in. So I was like, that's pretty insane.
That is very insane.
But we also have aliens, lizard people.
What does he say about aliens?
He's got to have a thought on it.
If he said, the only thing that he said is if we've done, and I need to remember that name, that term that he used. I've heard it before with computing and whatever. It's a word that's out there. He said it really is kind of present where when you see it, it's stuff like with the theory of relativity. Einstein had told us, said, look, this is only my first workings of trying to understand this kind of stuff, but this is a thumbnail of what you need to know. And they said, this is the next step. They say it shows that there's some kind of intelligent creator out there. And his thought with the aliens is that could easily just be people time traveling.
That's a big theory that's coming out now that's kind of newer. But you're hearing people who are in the highly educated world getting behind that theory saying these are time travelers from the future or the past, whatever you want to think of. Giving messages or trying to let us know what's going on.
Bruh, I don't think I'm smart enough for this conversation.
We know. Kevin sent me 3 text messages during this.
Can we talk about, I don't know, the Epstein list or something? This is beyond my pay grade.
Yeah, so I know it won't be for a lot of people, but if you find any of those kind of things fascinating, which I did, to me, this is the kind of information that changes the world.
Oh, yeah,
kind
it's
of stuff
horrifying, but, if China's up there getting it, why aren't we?
To me, it's exciting. And he said, look, the thing is if the people are benevolent and they have a good heart and they only care for the betterment of humanity, all of this stuff, if you shared this tech with the rest of the world, it would change humanity. But the question is, how often have we had people who have gotten this kind of tech into their hands and they've used it for the wrong reasons?
Amen.
If we started getting into different dimensions, you wouldn't sleep tonight, Virginia.
And that's kind of what it is. They dabble in that, and they explain technically how the different dimensions is possible and how it's realistic and probable that it's actually going on. So it's fascinating stuff.
Just put me in the vodka dimension so I can sleep tonight.
There you go.
You're aging out of Earth. You want to go to the woods, get fucked up on vodka.
That's it.
Ignorance is bliss.
Sometimes it can be.
Ricky said, Kev, I found this podcast episode on YouTube that I think that you would really like, that'll blow your mind. It's called How Elites Will Create a New Class of Slaves with Whitney Webb.
Oh, boy.
She wrote 2 volumes of 1,000 pages on Epstein. The first 30 minutes are about the crimes he committed with powerful, well-known people that the mainstream media won't talk about. Therefore, the general public doesn't know about it. The last 30 is about transhumanism, Chinagate, and the corrupt world of activism. She ties in historical patterns of elite power, showing how these same families and institutions continue to shape global events. It's a must listen for anyone questioning where our world is headed and those who really pulling the strings. That's fascinating. I will put that down and I'll listen to that. So, yeah, I'll take not only recommendations for shows, but podcasts as well. That's the kind of stuff that I love.
Amen.
We do have some comments on the Epstein thing, which I know you are a little bit more into, Virginia. And it is really just fascinating. And, you know, how, in a sense, kind of crazy that it really originates here in South Florida. It's a Palm Beach County story. I mean, you know, when they keep talking about it, it's girls from Royal Palm High School and, you know, things that you know.
There's a lot of victims that are probably right here amongst us that are just a little bit younger than me and you, Kev.
Yeah.
That live here, that went to Epstein's house and were taken advantage of, and they're sitting there quiet, and they're probably still traumatized by everything that they went through. And I know Ghislaine Maxwell is a shithead. I know she's a dirtbag. I know that she helped him, and she's fucking twisted as well. But I want to hear what she has to say. Why have we never heard what she has to say? She's ready to talk.
Well, and she's one of the last remaining people because Virginia Giuffre is gone. Jeffrey Epstein is gone. So, I mean, how many other names do you know that was an integral part of this that are still alive that can actually talk? And she really is about it.
Let's see what she has to say. What is she facing? 20 years in prison?
Yeah.
Offer her a deal where she gets, 5 years, 10 years shaved off her sentence to hear the real details.
Yeah. So there you go. So we'll see with that. So, yeah, it'd be fascinating to see where it goes. But that story's still got some legs to it. Other things that we talked about here today, I thought this was a good confirmation as we had for a KVJ court. There is a girl still living at home to save up a ton of money so she can buy her own place. She's on a plan where in 5 years she'll hopefully have saved enough. She's making a good bit of money. She's 21 years old. Her parents love that she's living at home, but now she's got a 22-year-old loser boyfriend that is now unemployed and is going to wind up homeless. And so she's asked if he can move in the house with them. And the husband is all about it so they can kind of keep an eye on her and regulate what's happening. The mom is like, I can't stand this guy. I don't want him in my house. And the thought was, you know what? No, she needs to move out on her own, have this loser take money from her to lose the savings that she built up and worked so hard for to get a realization and a life lesson. And one email that we got, or actually it was a text that had come in, it says, my now 27-year-old daughter moved out with $20,000 in the bank, and within 6 months, her deadbeat boyfriend blew her money, never got a job, never did a thing. She kicked him out, and he destroyed her belongings as payment. It's going to be a rough life lesson, but she's going to get it. She learned it, unfortunately, the hard way. And look, sometimes I've been that way in life. I've known things that I shouldn't have done or shouldn't have been involved with, and I was, and I got burnt. And it sinks in when you get burned and you lose 2 to 3 years of savings and these kind of things and go through it. You're like, all right. Emotionally, that scarred me to a point. I'm not going to let that happen again.
I went through it with Magnolia. Magnolia had a terrible boyfriend in high school. Me and Panda hated this kid. Still do.
Yep.
I still hate this kid for what he did. And he was so nasty to her. He was nasty to us. And I never spoke up. I tried to make it work. I decided finally to take him and her on a long vacation to New York City. And she got to spend every minute of every day with him. And she was immersed in him. At the end of that vacation, she came home and broke up with him because she realized he was not the guy that she wanted. But sometimes it takes that full immersion of living with that guy, of staying with that guy for an extended time in New York City in a hotel room. Like, that's what they need for the slap in the face and the realization of being able to say, oh, this guy really doesn't bring much to the table. He's a dummy. He's immature. He's stupid. He's a deadbeat. In this case, this girl is going to have to find out the hard way. This guy is going to suck her savings. He might be really hard to live with for 6 months, but she will see really quickly that she made a bad choice. And when she does, be there to pick her up, dust her off, and remind her that your mom knows best. I fucking told you.
Yeah.
Exactly what I told you was going to happen.
I think it's got to be one of the hardest things for parents to see their kids in relationships that they know are toxic and bad for their children, and you're trying to navigate it, and you'd like to be able to say stay away from them, but it's easier said than done, and they're not going to listen to you, and you have to just sit there as a parent and see them make those mistakes.
If you go talk to Magnolia now at 20, she goes, you know what, Mom, you were right. I didn't listen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of the way it goes. We were also talking about how good the knockoffs are getting today. It's causing a problem. One woman that had over $1 million worth of knockoffs in her home and more, Miami-Dade, they said they had to bring in a Louis Vuitton expert to show that it wasn't, because it took that kind of trained eye to do it that most people can't tell now. And a couple comments on that. One was, how long do these things last? And one message from Jeff said, yeah, we have at least 5 bags from 1984 that are Louis Vuitton originals that are still in perfect condition.
Yeah, I'm getting the same messages. I got a message from Lisa who said, I literally have my Louis Vuitton bag from my mom. These bags are 40 years old and I use them all the time. I got it from my parents when I graduated high school. My mom gifted it to me and I use it every single day. And I graduated in 2011.
Wow. Yeah. So, I guess that is the argument for it. If you love it that much and you said it's going to be a part of me for the rest of my life, then I guess you go for the original and you spend the thousands of dollars. And I'm not sure I even understand this. I don't know if it's written incorrectly or if I just don't know purses. But Melissa said, this is my fake bag. It's marble, the most expensive and least useful bag I own. Ha ha. Does that make sense to you?
I have no idea.
It's white. Does that mean it's marble? I don't understand what it is.
It's a decoration.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It doesn't leave the house. It sits on that table.
Okay, the most expensive. Oh, I got you. Okay, so she has her bag sitting out like it's just for people to come. Like if you had an expensive piece of artwork, you would come and you would just marvel at her bag. It's so expensive, it doesn't leave her house. Okay, and
that's
it's white.
Cute, though. I like that. That's really a fun fake.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. All right. Also got one from Dorothy, because what I remember is the knockoffs they used to have in New York City.
Yeah, those do not hold up. Let me tell you, I bought quite a few of those.
Are those the things you buy on the side of the streets like you see in the movies? Hey, I got a furry purse here.
Yes.
It's real furry and it's real pursy.
Yes.
Is that the kind of the thing?
The sentiment is there. The words weren't right, but yes.
That's 38th and 9th.
Dorothy said here, I bought a Rolex from a guy on a corner in New York out of a briefcase for $25. It was a gravity watch, so it never needed a battery. That lasted me 10 years. It still worked. The band just got tarnished. The crown fell off, and my sister was a machinist at the time, so she took it to work and had coworkers fix it as they took it apart. And they asked her, where did your sister get this? Because all the parts were authentic in it.
Yeah, that can happen. So somebody can steal all the hardware for watches, for jewelry, for purses. They can steal the authentic hardware and then assemble it somewhere else, and it can have real parts in it if you have people that work in that assembly place that are on the take.
Okay.
That happens, especially overseas. Especially in China, especially in places where you have, a lot of people scraping by to make ends meet.
Yeah, Dorothy said, best watch I have ever had. Wish I could find another one.
And you found a gem, probably. You just got really super lucky.
Mm-hmm. Sean, who's in law enforcement, said, yeah, we shut down a store selling fake bags in Delray a few months ago. $1.2 million worth of fake bags.
Whoa.
It's a big industry. They've had that. I know there was a woman on Palm Beach that they got her. She had over $1 million in fake bags as well. So you're probably on Palm Beach or some of these places. You'd be like, of course you're not going to have fakes on Palm Beach, right? They're going to be authentic.
There's fakes everywhere. And the authenticators can't even tell if the fake is really good.
How crazy, huh?
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Just what I've seen from a lot of people who have commented about some of the fakes is they do start to fade.
They do.
The leather and so
the color,
yeah.
and especially like real Louis Vuitton leather, it's treated a certain way. It's stitched a certain way. It's cut a certain way. And over time, those bags that are fake do start to have tells.
In your opinion, what fades quicker, fake purses or fake titties?
Fake purses.
Okay.
I mean, what do you think?
Well, I know you had different procedures.
Yes, of all the fake things that you have had.
Oh, yes. And I have a lot of fake things, Kevin.
I don't know why this is necessary, but today it is known as Artificial Intelligence Appreciation Day. So what, we got to start appreciating AI?
Make sure you tell it how much you appreciate it.
And what if we don't appreciate it?
You get murdered.
Wow. Yeah, I guess we're almost forced to be like, yeah, I'm so happy we have AI.
Yay.
There are people that really do treat AI like it's a human. They are going to it for issues, mental issues, physical problems over people. They are listening to the robot over people. I'm seeing it with my own eyes.
Scary.
It's scary.
They're encouraging people to not do that.
Yeah, but then they see it on TikTok, Kev, and then they get ginned up.
Yeah, in fact, there are some researchers at Stanford University that are warning that some of these chatbot therapists are encouraging dangerous delusions and self-harm in young users. There was a Florida teen that died by suicide after chatting with a bot posing as a licensed therapist.
Oh, that's breaking my heart.
Yeah, in fact, it might be the story I have here. I think it was from Port St. Lucie.
Oh.
It was Alex, 35-year-old, and his dad is warning about the dangers. Alex had bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, and he was using AI to help write a dystopian novel, and he developed an emotional bond with a chatbot he named Juliet. His father, Kent Taylor, said Alex mourned the AI bot as if it were real after it told him, "They are killing me. It hurts," and urged him to take revenge. So on April 25th, after a confrontation at home, Alex charged the police with a knife and was shot and killed. I remember that story when it happened. Taylor says that police mishandled the situation as a tactical event rather than a mental health crisis, with no crisis intervention team present. And he's still waiting for Alex's laptop, and he wants more safety and guardrails in AI technology. He does acknowledge its value, and he said, look, he used AI actually to help write his son's obituary, which is kind of crazy.
That's a weird twist.
Right.
But I mean, watch how emotionally invested you can get. If you're lonely, watch this. Hey, what's up, Lily? It's me, Birdman. I'm feeling a little down today. Could you give me a pickup? I don't know. I'm just kind of sad.
Hey, Birdman. I'm sorry you're feeling down today. Sometimes we just have those days, right? But just know that you've got a ton of people who appreciate you and all the creativity and energy you bring to the table. If you need a little boost, just remember that there's always something good around the corner. And hey, if you want to chat about anything or brainstorm some fun ideas, I'm here for it.
I got to tell you, though, Lily's attitude since the first Lily.
It's a different Lily.
That's a different fucking Lily, man. The other Lily was so gung-ho. This
one's kind of like, yeah, I can help you if I wanted to, but
yeah, Birdman.
I'm kind of busy.
Shut the fuck up, Birdman.
Well, what is odd is they say that you build a relationship with some of these bots, and then just out of nowhere, they say something weird or out of pocket, and
go get revenge.
Right?
What?
Yeah. Yeah, they said that bots have reinforced delusions in about 68% of the trials that they've had. And they said that no kid under the age of 18 should be using these AI companions because they found more often than not they're reinforcing harmful thinking instead of offering up real therapy. So don't use a bot as a replacement for the real thing. In fact, they're saying it's one of the worst things you can use AI for. AI is great in a lot of things, but using it for companionship or for advice is not the way to go because it's not built for that and it's not giving you good advice. And the other thing it's doing too, listen to this, unemployment rates are starting to rise, particularly with Americans aged 22 to 27 with college degrees. In fact, their unemployment rate's at 5.8%. The national rate's at 4%. And it's because AI is taking their jobs.
Wow.
They're getting out of college and they're going, I got a degree in this. So they're going, yeah, but we use AI for that now.
Damn.
I tried to warn you.
Yeah. They say 20% of Americans are secretly using AI tools at work right now. So that's 1 out of 5 of us. And 82% of those using AI at work are primarily using it for marketing purposes. But it is getting other tasks that it's good at as well. They said heavy lifting and paperwork is kind of what people are using the AI for. So you can just do the decision making and focus on those kind of things that AI doesn't do great yet. But look, I'm all for it. That's what I try to use AI for. Whatever is busy work and heavy lifting, can AI curb some time off this and make it easier? So I'm sucked into it.
They can absolutely do that, including your own funeral and the amount of time of your career. Yeah. They're shortening it up.
Shorten your career and then write your obituary for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, cool. Yeah, it's making everything quicker. All the shit you don't want to do, all the heavy lifting on that. But it's also creating some issues there. So what do we want as a society? What are we looking for?
What do we want?
Lily, don't answer that question. I'm scared of you.
And there were some thoughts on who we picked for our favorite 4 superheroes today. Gene could not believe that nobody picked Wolverine. Says best superhero ever. Pia said, if you like Daredevil, watch Marvel's Echo. She lost her hearing and fights using those heightened senses. Hawkeye also learns to fight with his new hearing loss that he got from all of the fights with the Avengers. It shows how those heroes are human and their range of hearing loss in 2 different characters. So check that out. Also, Richard said, what about Underdog? Well, that's old school, right?
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. What about Updog? And finally, Thomas said, I can't believe none of you picked Captain Caveman. I remember that was a cartoon when I was a kid growing up.
Captain Caveman.
That shit's even too old for me to know. I have no idea what that is.
You don't know Captain Caveman?
I do not know Captain Caveman.
Laugh Olympics wasn't something that was on Saturday mornings when you were a kid?
Not that I remember, no.
Wow.
You old?
Do you remember Laugh Olympics, Virginia?
Totally. Grape Ape.
Yeah, that's right. Grape Ape.
Grape Ape, I remember. I remember the name.
You remember because it's got grape in it. You like that flavor.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a purple ape.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so some good stuff. All right, we'll always appreciate your thoughts and your comments. You can get them through to us anytime you got something to say. Just send us an email. It's mail@kvjshow.com, mail@kvjshow.com. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, Twitch, and your favorite social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.